Hi Beach Church, it's Friday again. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Our reading today was Psalms 11 through 15. So we are seeing a toxic culture, and David is staying true to his faith. So Psalms 11 and 12, let's jump right in. We're standing firm in a toxic culture here, right? The crisis is that society's foundation is crumbling, and David can see this. And there's malicious lies dominating the public, and, everyone's telling David, you've got to run. You've got to get out of here. These people they're crazy, right? They're going to destroy you. And what happens? David refuses to go anywhere. He reminds himself that God is the most sovereign, and he has the heavenly throne, right? And unlike the deceptive, shifting words of mankind and these horrible, wicked people, God's words are flawless, and they're pure, and they're reliable. God does not falter. And what do I always say? God doesn't make mistakes. So in chapter 13, we're seeing that David kind of feels abandoned by God. And I know that we all go through that in life, but let me tell you, God never abandons us. He never leaves us. Our life circumstances could feel that way, and we get so into our feelings, as my daughter says, that we feel like God's not there because we want him to fix it right then, right there. And, but he hasn't abandoned us. He's right here. He's already gone before us. But David is crying out saying, how long? And David pivots, and he intentionally does this. He stops focusing on his problems and chooses to remember that God's the one with the track record, and God's past track record of mercy and causes his sorrows to transform into songs of praise. God is never going to leave us. He never falters. So we go into Psalms 14 and 15. And 14, it is just a grim diagnosis of humanity, right? Everyone has turned away from God. There is none who are really doing good, right? No, not one. This creates major problems for Psalms 15, though. We'll get to it, which asks, who may dwell on your holy city? And then we see in Psalms 15 that the list requires for God's presence to enter. And we find out about absolute integrity, truthful speech. So put the lies and gossip out the window, folks. And flawless morality. Because no human can meet this perfectly. I mean, I'd like to try, but I know I can't. But I strive every day to. What we're seeing in the Psalms here collectively points us to what? To Jesus. Because Jesus is perfect. So in Psalms 15, we are learning what it means to be righteous. And, God comes in and he's like integrity, truth, you were to speak truth and flawless morality. Well, he created us. He knows that we're from jump, we're messed up, right? But what this is pointing to is Jesus. This is laying the pathwork for Jesus. And Jesus was perfect in his righteousness. So, what can we take away from these chapters today? Well, what I took away from it is when the world gets chaotic, when people let you down, and I actually had that happen this week, bring your honest pain to God. His unchanging word and love and mercy is unfaltering. Rely on his grace and ask to live with true integrity and flawless morality. And do your best. In areas where your life, when we're tempted to flee, like, oh, that's scary, I've got to go this way. Also remember, God has gone before you. Give it to him. Give it to him honestly. David moves from depression in Psalms to joy by actively remembering God's faithfulness. And I want you to ask yourself, what is one specific way where you might have been fleeing, where it seemed dismal, and then you remembered God's love and you gave it to him? So that's your assignment for this week. So remember, no matter the chaos, no matter how much you want to flee, give it to God and live with integrity and no gossiping and morality. And God knows you're not perfect, but we can pray and ask and live in his word to be as righteous as we humanly can.